Welcome to the Dinar Daily, your source for detailed analysis of global currency developments. For many years, a dedicated community has closely monitored information surrounding international financial shifts, navigating through a landscape filled with considerable speculation and unverified claims. The journey has been characterized by a collective commitment to focusing on discernible facts and patiently awaiting tangible evidence. Today, we are dissecting a narrative that suggests this long period of anticipation has reached a pivotal juncture. The information being discussed points not to recycled forum chatter or baseless rumors, but to what is described as verifiable data streams and observable international market indicators. It suggests a significant milestone has been reached, marking a transition from a phase of waiting to one of active implementation, a moment that has been the subject of intense focus for a global audience of observers who have followed these developments with unwavering attention. A central theme of recent communications revolves around the long-discussed alignment between private currency holders and established institutional frameworks. The reports indicate that the necessary infrastructure to facilitate exchanges and redemptions is now fully active and operational. This development is presented as the culmination of years of preparation, where theoretical discussions are now being replaced by practical, functioning systems. Observers are pointing to signs of liquidity moving through the financial system, intermittent rate changes appearing on specialized trading terminals, and confirmations of a live, stable connection between Iraq's domestic financial architecture and the broader global networks. This convergence of factors is being interpreted as the definitive moment that many have been preparing for, a critical intersection where years of patient preparation are meeting a period of tangible manifestation and activity. As we delve into this reported historic phase, the emphasis from many sources is on the importance of acting from a position of knowledge rather than being guided by emotion. The details being shared are considered crucial, as the actions taken by individuals in the coming days and weeks could have long-lasting financial implications. The narrative describes a narrow window of opportunity, one that is presented as both real and monumental in its timing. This is not being framed as a potential future event or a whisper of possibility, but as a verified, unfolding process that is happening in the present moment. The message is clear: the period of waiting is over, and a new phase has begun, demanding careful attention to detail and a calm, methodical approach from all those who have been following this story for so long. Specific currencies are at the heart of this unfolding narrative, with the Iraqi Dinar, the Vietnamese Dong, and even the Zimbabwean dollar being cited as having entered an operational phase for their respective redemption and exchange processes. This information is reportedly corroborated by multiple independent sources, including data from trading screens, confirmations from major financial hubs, and intelligence from international monitoring platforms, all of which are said to be pointing to the same conclusion. According to these sources, exchange rates are now visible within the system, digital networks are responsive, and the initial stages of transaction processing have commenced. This synchronized activity across different platforms and currencies is presented as powerful evidence that a significant global financial event is actively underway. Further supporting these claims are reports that appointments for currency redemption are now actively being scheduled. Individuals who have diligently followed verified procedures and protocols are supposedly being contacted through established and secure channels to arrange their exchanges. The communications stress that this is not a test, a simulation, or a preliminary dry run of the systems. Instead, it is being described as the live, official transition from a state of speculation to one of complete activation. This marks a critical shift in the narrative, moving the entire subject from the realm of future possibility into the domain of current, real-world activity, which has significant implications for everyone who holds these particular currency assets and has been awaiting this specific development for the many holders who have persevered through numerous reported delays and have faced widespread skepticism over the years. This moment is described as carrying profound emotional and financial weight. It represents the potential opportunity to translate a long-held belief into tangible, concrete results. However, even amidst the excitement of these developments, a strong message of discernment is being conveyed. Observers are urged to avoid misinformation and to stay closely aligned with credible and verified sources of information. The process is said to hinge on precise timing, thorough documentation, and strict verification protocols, making it essential for participants to remain vigilant and methodical in their approach to ensure a smooth and successful outcome. This specific period of activity, referred to by some as a unique opportunity, is said to represent a convergence of several critical factors. These include the readiness of international policies, the complete synchronization of complex financial systems across multiple countries, and the final granting of international approvals that were considered prerequisites for this event to proceed. For those who are reportedly positioned correctly with their assets and documentation, this is being framed as the moment that transforms years of patience into tangible prosperity. It is a time where waiting is said to be turning into a form of awakening, as the theoretical potential of these assets transitions into a practical and accessible reality for a global community of holders. The channel providing this information has long positioned itself as a source of clarity. Amidst a great deal of noise and confusion, it has aimed to provide credible analysis grounded in a sense of realistic optimism, separating substantive information from unfounded speculation. The current updates are considered to be of historic significance because they are seen as signaling a fundamental transition in how the world perceives certain emerging market currencies. The narrative is shifting away from theoretical discussions about a global reset and moving into the practical applications of that concept, where transactional readiness is replacing rumor and global financial institutions are finally acknowledging the value of currencies that were previously sidelined or undervalued. The transformation that is reportedly underway is not being viewed as merely a financial one. It is also described as having deep psychological and geopolitical dimensions. It is seen as reflecting the awakening of nations that were once held back by outdated economic systems and are now stepping into modern, digital frameworks that allow for more equitable participation in global trade. Understanding this broader context is presented as a source of empowerment, enabling individuals to make more informed decisions. The core message is that the era of widespread speculation is drawing to a close, and a new era of confirmation, backed by observable data and systemic activation, has now definitively begun. A key piece of this puzzle is the reported action of the Central Bank of Iraq, CBI. According to the information, the CBI has officially aligned its internal rate structure with the rates being displayed on international trading platforms. This is being presented as far more than a simple technical adjustment. For the first time in recent history, major financial centers in London, Dubai, New York, and Singapore are said to be displaying the revalued Iraqi dinar within their live data feeds. This alignment is interpreted as a powerful symbol of Iraq's re-emergence into the global economy as a credible and integrated partner, one that is capable of sustaining currency value, ensuring stability, and earning the trust of international markets. This evolution in Iraq's financial standing did not occur spontaneously. It is described as the result of a deliberate, disciplined, and multi-year transformation. Iraq's leadership has reportedly implemented a series of deep structural reforms that were required by international financial organizations like the International Monetary Fund. These reforms included modernizing the country's banking infrastructure, introducing comprehensive digital payment ecosystems, strengthening anti-corruption mechanisms, and finalizing long-debated laws concerning the management and distribution of oil and gas revenues. These systemic upgrades were considered essential preconditions for Iraq to gain full international recognition and have its currency accepted at a new, more equitable value on the world stage. With a more stable political environment, enhanced energy production capabilities, and a noticeable increase in foreign investment. Iraq is now being positioned as a crucial financial bridge between Eastern and Western economies. The implications of this new status are described as enormous. Global investors, large institutional funds, and various international trade alliances are reportedly re-evaluating their exposure to Iraq and considering the new opportunities presented by its economic reality. The revaluation of the dinar in this context does more than just adjust numbers on a screen. It is seen as redefining Iraq's entire economic identity, transforming a once isolated currency into a global asset of significant interest and potential. The world is taking notice, and the narrative suggests that Iraq is fully prepared for this new chapter. Simultaneously, reports indicate that the State Bank of Vietnam has moved forward with remarkable precision and confidence. It has announced decisive adjustments to the value of the Vietnamese Dong VND, an action taken in direct alignment with guidance from the International Monetary Fund and other global financial authorities. For many years, Vietnam's monetary strategy was centered on maintaining a deliberately undervalued currency. This policy was designed to ensure that its exports remained competitively priced in international markets, a strategy that served the nation exceptionally well during its early phases of industrial and economic growth, helping it to secure a dominant position in key sectors like electronics manufacturing, textiles, and agricultural exports. However, as Vietnam's economy continued to evolve and mature, it became a major hub for multinational production, attracting significant foreign direct investment and generating consistent trade surpluses. The underlying economic fundamentals of the nation eventually outgrew the older valuation model. This latest recalibration of the dong's value is being interpreted as an official acknowledgement of Vietnam's true economic maturity. It is seen as a signal that the nation is no longer defined solely by low-cost labor, but by innovation, technological efficiency, and macroeconomic stability. Investors and financial institutions worldwide are now recognizing what many long-term observers have understood for years: Vietnam's economy has achieved a level of scale, strength, and sustainability that justifies its currency being valued on par with other major global economies. The adjustment of the dong's value, therefore, represents more than a mere technical correction in the foreign exchange markets. It is being framed as a powerful declaration of Vietnam's readiness to stand shoulder to shoulder with other major economies in Asia and across the globe. The green light appearing on trading platforms for the newly valued dong is not just a set of numbers. It is the visible confirmation of a national transformation that has been decades in the making. It signifies the successful culmination of a long-term economic strategy and the beginning of a new era for Vietnam as a key player in the international financial system, reflecting its hard-won economic strength and stability. Perhaps the most powerful and long-awaited confirmation detailed in these reports is that the redemption portal has become officially operational. For years, the financial community has speculated about, debated, and tracked every whisper related to the activation of this system. Now, with what is described as system-wide validation, a group identified as Tier 4B participants has reportedly begun receiving secure communications. These communications are said to contain encrypted links that allow them to schedule their private redemption and exchange appointments. This is a significant logistical step, moving the process from a state of readiness to one of active engagement with currency holders. Banking institutions, operating under strict non-disclosure agreements and compliance protocols, are said to be facilitating this initial phase of currency conversions. Following this controlled rollout, the next level, identified as Tier 5, which represents broader public participation, is expected to open within a matter of days. Every available indication points to a global rollout that is being conducted with synchronized precision across multiple jurisdictions. This suggests an incredibly high level of coordination between different financial institutions and national governments to ensure that the process is orderly, secure, and efficient for all participants involved, regardless of their location. To support this massive undertaking, liquidity pools have reportedly been unlocked, digital fund flows have been confirmed, and security protocols across all participating redemption centers have been verified as active and fully functional. Redemption locations are said to be staffed by trained personnel, adequately funded to handle the transactions, and prepared to manage this unprecedented financial transition with both efficiency and security. The message being conveyed is that this is not a rumor, speculation, or a simulated event. It is the tangible manifestation of years of meticulous infrastructure preparation. The entire network, from rate synchronization to digital settlement pathways, has reportedly moved into a state of full functionality. This extraordinary level of orchestration is seen as reflecting nothing less than a global financial alignment of historic proportions. The intricate coordination is designed to ensure fairness, security, and a smooth execution of the process for every participant. What was once considered by many to be an abstract possibility or a distant hope has now become an operational reality. The very alignment that observers have been anticipating for years has reportedly gone live in complete and perfect unison. This marks a definitive turning point, where all the prepared systems and protocols are now actively engaged in, facilitating one of the most significant currency events in modern history. As this historic opportunity unfolds, the importance of precision and preparation is being heavily emphasized. The redemption process has been designed for maximum efficiency, but it inherently rewards those who are well organized. The first step for any currency holder is to verify their currency. This involves carefully reviewing every note for authenticity, assessing its quality, and confirming its denomination. It is recommended to place holdings in a specific order, separated by currency type and series, ensuring that each bundle is clean, intact, and properly stored. Taking these organizational steps is said to help expedite the redemption process and signals a level of professionalism to the banking representatives. The second critical step is the preparation of all necessary documentation. Individuals are advised to have their government-issued identification, proof of residence, and appointment confirmation details ready well in advance of their scheduled time. Many redemption centers will reportedly require digital verification of these documents, so it is recommended to keep secure digital copies stored on an encrypted device or to have clear, high-quality printed copies available. The third step is to book the appointment promptly once the notification is received, as available slots are expected to fill up very quickly due to the high volume of global participation. Early movers may gain access to certain advantages, such as premium rates or expedited processing. The fourth step involves knowing your numbers before even entering the appointment. This means having a clear idea of what exchange rate you are targeting, how much immediate liquidity you will require for personal use, and what portion of your exchanged funds you plan to allocate toward other structures like trusts, humanitarian projects, or long-term diversified investments. Finally, the fifth step is to maintain a high degree of confidentiality and composure throughout the entire process. This moment demands discretion and a professional demeanor. The guidance is to follow official instructions precisely, avoid engaging in public speculation, and approach the redemption as a formal business transaction rather than an overly emotional reaction. In this new financial landscape, the protection of wealth becomes not just a recommendation but an absolute necessity. The transition from holding physical currency notes to managing newly exchanged digital assets represents a profound shift in personal financial responsibility. Once the redemption process is complete, the focus must immediately turn to the preservation of that wealth, its proper legal structuring, and its strategic growth over the long term. A primary step is to request segregated accounts at the financial institution, which ensures that an individual's funds are held separately and are safeguarded from any institutional liabilities or risks, providing an essential layer of protection. Next, it is advisable to explore the option of structured payouts. These are customized financial arrangements that release funds over a predetermined period rather than all at once. This method can offer significant advantages, including minimizing tax exposure and preserving the long-term value of the principal amount. These financial strategies are not just reserved for the ultra-wealthy. They are intelligent and accessible tools for anyone who is seeking to build generational stability and ensure their newfound wealth is managed wisely. Engaging a professional wealth advisor or a tax attorney with experience in international settlements and high-value transitions is also a crucial step in this process. The role of these professionals is to help craft a diversified and resilient financial portfolio that balances the need for immediate liquidity with the goals of long-term security and impactful giving. It is critical not to allow emotion or a sense of haste to dictate these important financial decisions. Instead, one must operate with composure, clarity, and a disciplined mindset. This is described as a pivotal moment where discipline truly defines destiny. Protecting personal information, maintaining financial privacy, and keeping detailed records of all communications and transactions are also fundamental practices. Wealth protection begins with awareness, but it is sustained through structure, professional counsel, and careful foresight.